Hey guys, today's story is about a guy that's pining for the fjords. This campaign took place over a period of 3 months. It was pretty good, but it ended somewhat prematurely, as we found out last minute we were too underleveled to take on the final boss. But we decided to anyway. Charlie was the problem player, with Stan and I being the main targets. Charlie was playing a lawful, good paladin, and Stan was a neutral evil tiefling. I was a fighter, and the other 2 players who were less important to the story were a wizard and a barbarian. They were bros, but didn't really actively participate in the story. We started off at level 3, and pretty quickly Charlie started antagonizing Stan, as despite not knowing her alignment, he had decided that she was evil purely because she was a tiefling, and there was a point where it was considered too much. Within the first hour, he had reached that point by trying to kill her, and at no point during the rest of the campaign did he try to get along with her, or find some common ground. And even when she attempted to reach out, he just wouldn't change his outlook on things. Which should have been a red flag, but for the first month or so, I just thought he was doing a really good job playing a stubborn character. But when his out-of-character issues with me started, that's when I realized he wasn't just a good role player. Charlie began referring to me as a traitor, because Stan and I were getting along in character. We had similar backstories, and as they slowly became known, we mutually latched onto each other. Same traumas and such, and that set into motion 2 things. One, I love, and the other, I thought was hilarious. The one I thought was hilarious was Charlie unironically calling me a simp. And that's not a joke or oversimplification. Out of character, he would call me a simp. And at some point, he sent me a message which said, "If you're not going to make a move, then get out of my way." And that's when it became obvious to me that, in some screwed up way, by constantly talking down to her and trying to kill her because of her race, and his own preconceived notions of that race, he wanted to develop a relationship with her. It was slightly mortifying, but he never hurt her in real life. He was just weird and creepy, and lived nowhere near her. This all came to a head when, near the end of the campaign, Stan realized that she had feelings for the barmaid, who worked at an inn we kept coming back to. And Charlie had a complete meltdown, screaming and crying. He took it super personally. And this only happened a few weeks ago, so I can clearly remember him screaming, "We could have had something!" And the second-hand embarrassment was very tangible. After that, he left, and that was it. He didn't come back, and the rest of the campaign went smoothly. Mostly. And to end this off, I'll summarize the final session. I know it has nothing to do with the actual story, but I wanted to end this off with something of a good note. During the final boss fight, the barbarian and I died. The wizard went on to become a professor, and Stan finally got to live a somewhat normal life. She married the barmaid, and through magic, they had a son. This was a thing that made me happy. And, even better, they named the son after my character, because in character, Stan considered my fighter something of a brother, and she wanted his memory to live on, even if he hadn't. I'm writing this a few hours after the session, and it's still doing something to me emotionally. Well guys, I initially thought by the title that the OP was self-admitting that he had screwed up in some manner or way by doing some creepy stuff unintentionally, but that wasn't the case here. This was a pretty short and kind of happy story. The problem sorted itself out. But, in any case guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you would like to chat and hang out with other people, I have a Discord link in the description. But as always, have a good one.